Hello. Hey, everyone. Good evening. So while we wait for Jayant to join in, let's do a quick check. Oh, there he is. Hey, Jayant.
Hello, what is up?
Hi. Good evening.
Let me-
Okay, awesome.
All
I
right,
just got, can you hear me?
yeah, please go on.
Okay, awesome. So I just got this started, and folks are still joining in. And I thought, thank you, first of all, for joining us today. And I thought I'll give a quick introduction, and then you can take us through your awesome sales uh, yarn that we can learn from. Okay. So I'm sure most of you already know Jayant. He's a part of DD's uh, team. But he comes from a very interesting background. He was a scientist, which I got to know very recently at an event I attended, the DFS. Um, and he jumped into sales, which honestly is one of the things that really gives me, jitters every time I have to do it. So I thought, instead of me trying to tell you folks how to sell, let me get one of the experts to do that. The best part about Jayant is that he uses data and data-driven strategies to sell, right? Which I sort of resonate with. And he's done over 1,200 sales calls, which has translated
I've
into
hit
over
15 right now.
okay, 1,500. So then, obviously, more than 1 million in revenue. And he's built this amazing framework called the Badass Framework. And I think that name is also very awesome. And he currently heads the sales team at Pixel Track, and he's also a co-founder. And today he's graciously given us his time to talk about a lot of interesting things that I think are, many content writers struggle with, right? Where do we go to find clients? How do we find clients? Once we've found them, how do we convert them, right? So I'm going to leave it to Jayant to take you through his process today and give us some like amazing nuggets. If you have any questions, you can put them in the Q&A box, and Jan can take them as they come along or towards the end of the session. And yeah, feel free to interact. If you have any aha moments, put them in the chat window, and I'll keep putting my thoughts in that as well. So
Awesome.
over to you, Chant.
Wow. Okay, and now that you introduced me so well, the expectations have risen, so I'll try to meet those. All right, hey, what is up, you beautiful people? Say hi in the chat box so that we can get started. Awesome. Cool. So I'll share my screen and I prepared a quick mind map. And today in this particular webinar, we'll divide this into 4 parts. I try to be structured as much as possible. First, understanding client psychology, what kind of clients we work with, what clients will actually want from us, what sort of offer we create so that it's impossible to say no to, and then how do we use our badass framework to close these deals, and then lastly, how do you build lasting relationships, right? So how many of you want to get started? Put let's say bring it on, bio in the chat box. The meeting is not Hindi. Of course it's not in Hindi. क्या बात कर रहे हैं? You want me to speak in Hindi? That's it's not my first language. I speak horrible Hindi though. Yeah. Awesome. Let's start with the first thing, which is understanding client psychology. Well, this particular thing here, we want to learn about 3 core things where a lot of people make mistake when they start working with clients, especially content writers. I personally have seen a lot of content writers make this mistake, and I, as a content writer, was making this mistake when I was a beginner, that I was not picking the right market. And you know how I used to get clients? I used to join this Facebook groups, this content writer Facebook group, and people would post this jobs and like bid on that, and that's how I started. And obviously that was not the right way. There are 4 core things that you need to look at while picking who do you want to serve, because who you help, deciding who you help is pretty much 80-20 of the entire game. If you, I mean, the whole reason, apart from being like really skilled, why Supriya has gotten such good traction in her career is because she has a beautiful market shipping. She's great with content, tech content, and she's helping all these leaders write thought leadership articles where it's a blue ocean. Like there are so less people working in that particular area that if you are skilled enough, you'll get clients after clients. I mean, she is at a position where she's like, rejecting clients. And how many of you would love to be in that state, right? Where you are like, no, I can't work with you today, right? That sort of, it's a culmination of two things: you being really skilled at what you do, and two, picking the right market. Because even if you are in even if you are really skilled, you work with some small businesses who don't know what a blog post is, who is not willing to pay you like 1 rupee per word, then what's the point, right? Now there are four qualities of a right market. This market must be in a massive pain. Massive is a subjective word, but they must have a problem that they want to solve, right? And quick example: a SaaS company who would need a lot of blog writers. Like I was working with Astra, they publish 24 to 30 blog posts in a month with a team of like 4 writers, and each writer would publish about 6 blog posts in a month, right? And they need a lot of content regularly. Why? Because paid ads are expensive. That's the pain. And the only way to get a lot of clients in this particular space is SEO, right? I'm sorry, my dog sometimes barks. So puppy, he barks a lot. So forgive the background noise if it comes. So that's number one. Must be in massive pain. Find a problem that you can solve. Second, must have a high purchasing power. You know, do not work with clients who are like, I don't know, which sort of content writing client doesn't have a high purchasing power. I mean, you guys know a lot, like these people, they bargain a lot, and all sorts of things they do. But there are certain industries where they can afford to pay you well. And SaaS comes to my mind. Tech sort of content comes to my mind.
Can I
uh
pitch in, Jan?
yeah, please.
I
I
feel every niche has clients who are willing to pay a premium because there are different layers of content in an organization. There is like that top tier content which they will shell out big money for, no matter what the industry is. And then there's
Yeah,
that bottom tier content where they may not be willing to pay more because they just want it for some SEO purposes or whatever. And it's
yeah.
not like their featured content, right? So I don't think niche is that important. It's more about how well you deliver on, like you rightly said, right?
What
How well
kind of
you solve
content
your
you are?
problem. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
everybody can pay, but you've got to find the right people who are willing to pay.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you start writing content blog posts for a coach, they may not pay a lot. But if you write landing page copy for the same coach, which can actually drive conversion, then yeah, makes sense. So that's there. They must be easy to target, especially online. I do not work with clients who are difficult to find. I mean, client ही नहीं मिलेगा ढूंढने पे तो what will you do, right? And it must be a growing market so that you're always in a client surplus, right? I don't know any market which is shrinking, but there are certain markets like newspaper as a market. It's not like that big. It's also shrinking. It's turning into blogs, newsletters, and everything. So that way, these are the four criterias I always use to find the kind of people that I want to work with, right? Next, also, since we are talking about client psychology, a lot of people make this mistake. They think their clients want content. Client does not want content. I mean, content is not the North Star metric that you need to look for. They need content, but they don't want content. They just need it. Why? Because they want always a solution to their problem. No matter how you look at it, your content solves a particular problem for them. Like a quick example, recently we like one of our clients, they needed a landing page copy. Now we are not as good of a copywriter as Vijay is, and Vijay charges a bomb. For one copy, he charges like some 1 lakh rupees, right? Writing like some 2,000 words, that's all. But our problem was we don't know how to write persuasive copy that can actually bring in conversion. Vijay did. And you know what? He wrote that copy. We immediately launched it. We made like 5 lakhs out of that in the first go itself and became like an asset. So why? Because he solved that big problem. So we never wanted a copy. We needed a copy. A lot of people make this mistake of thinking like, oh, hey, I'm a content writer. Give me work. No, no, no. I see that your homepage could convert better. Let me help you out. Your approach should be that, as opposed to like, I just write content for you, help me out. No. Got my point? So your approach to even finding clients should not be around like, I'm a content writer, hire me for writing a lot of words on the paper, because that's the last thing people want. Our approach should be, hey, you know what? You could really use help in this, and let me help you out. You know how I got Astra as a client? When I did check this frequency, that, when I started, I was like a WordPress guy. I was creating a lot of websites on WordPress. Now, among those, Astra popped up. And in Astra, I saw that they're publishing almost one article a day. When I looked at that, and I checked their team, there are about 6 content writers. So, matlab, roughly 4 to 5 articles each content writer was writing. So, my offer to them was, hey, you know what? If you could publish 6 more content, that's like 36 articles a month, that would be so good. And let me write a couple of articles for you for free. Would you be against considering that? And lo and behold, a company who is publishing 30 articles a month, obviously they need more articles to rank. And they said yes. And I was not even a good content writer back then. Somehow they accepted me, trained me on this, and hired me. Just because they had a need and they had a problem, they hired me. I'm not a trained content writer like you, and Supriya does a phenomenal job in her programs. I wish I had a mentor like her back then. But yeah. Next thing, we need to craft an irresistible offer. And I need to add one more line here, an entry offer. We need to create an irresistible offer that will get not only our foot inside the door, but also make us help us charge high, right? Like I mentioned, if you just say, hey, I write content, nobody is going to bother. But if I just change the exact same delivery, I just change the packaging a little bit, saying that, hey, you guys are publishing a lot of content. Let me write like 6 pieces of content for you for free, and then we'll figure out how we can work together. 6 pieces may be too much, but let's say 2 pieces for free, right? That's a good entry level offer. Especially for content writers, there are multiple types of content that you can write. But when you are working with a very high net worth client who can pay you a lot, it's good to start with something called as a free activation offer. Free activation is you give something for free, just like a bait, and help them out, blow their minds, and next they'll give you more content. And a lot of creative jobs happen that way. The video editor that I hired for my YouTube, he gave me one free video, and I was blown away with the kind of video he created. And I was like, cool, you're hired. Graphic designers, we do the same thing. So do not be afraid of writing 1,000 words for free, because it might cost you one day of your life, but it might give you a client that can keep paying you for your lifetime. So that is a good entry level offer. So I'll put that in the top. But what about the core offer? I'll probably create. The core offer should always answer this question: what problem are we solving? Now, for an example, let's say, because I only worked with one content writing client, so that's my only window to look at the content writing world. Now, the way I look at it, the core offer should solve that particular problem. It's the minimum viable thing that you need to do for the client so that their problem is solved. For example, let's say if I were to write content for somebody, what is the thing that we need? If I have to do, let's say, SEO for a company like Astra or Rank Math or anyone like that, what do I need to do? We need to write well-researched, SEO optimized articles. So these are, I kept them into 2 different buckets because well-researched is one part and SEO optimization is another, right? Now, what we need to do, what do we need to do to like make them well-researched? Well, research part we cannot ignore, but SEO optimization clearly you need to write do keyword research, write content that flows with the keyword, then add images and alt tags and pretty much proofreading, whatever, right? Now, and you need to do that in multiple variation. Let's say you need to give 6 articles, 7 articles, 10 articles for a particular, right? But if I just do this for an SEO content writer position, if I do this 5 steps, then pretty much the problem is solved. But just because we solve the problem doesn't mean that we need to stop here. We just need to add more spice to this. What we need to do is that using this process will get you minimum, let's say, 5 articles per month. But on top of that, I will produce the graphics required, so that you don't have to hire a graphic designer, because I have written the content. I know what graphics should be put, so that you don't have to hire a graphic designer to write the content here. I don't know what sort of guarantee we can give. We can give like quality guarantee or something like, if you're not happy with the quality, I'll give you 3 revisions, 4 revisions, multiple revisions that can make them feel secure that, hey, you know what, I have paid this guy money and he's not just vanishing out in the thin air. So a good guarantee here, especially when it is, you know, content writing sort of angle, can be like multiple revisions for free. And normally what I've seen, a lot of people are scared of this particular guarantee, that, you know, what if client asks me for 10 revisions? Well, worst case scenario, I have had one of the worst clients ever, and they did not go beyond 3 revisions. And if you are working with some good people, good companies, like all the 4 criteria that meeting there, in such cases, the content usually go for like maximum 2 to 3 revisions, unless you have a very strict CMO on top of your head.
I
Now,
actually carry this forward into this offer into my existing relationship also, right? Not just entry, but even today I tell my clients, if you need a third revision from me, I will not charge you for this asset. And it's like a 30,000 word article, but I'll say I will not charge. And it's never gone beyond 2 revisions for me. So I
yeah,
think it's a good offer to make.
yeah. So revisions do help, especially when you're working, or you can completely reposition this entire thing. You don't necessarily need to be a content writer. Let's say you become an on-page SEO specialist whose majority of the part is content, and you are creating an SEO offer where you add, you know what, I'll do technical SEO for you for free. That can be a bonus, and guarantee can be revisions for free, something like that. You figure out, right? However you want to position yourself. Next thing comes USP. Now, what we have basically, when we are creating an offer, we need to answer a lot of questions. So first question is, what problem are you solving? Well, I write well-researched, keyword-full articles that help you rank higher. Cool. If I hire you, what more do I get? You know what? I'll also produce the graphics, which will help you, you know, rank better. Plus, you don't have to hire a graphic designer, because I know what sort of graphics need to come. That's second. So what if whatever you are promising doesn't work? Well, I give you as many revisions as you want, completely for free, so that you are happy with the kind of work that I do. That is a guarantee. But we miss out on one single question, which is like, why should I trust you? Why you? Now, a lot of people here, I have asked this question anytime I ask a content writer, okay, what is your unique selling proposition or one unique selling point, whatever they call it? They say, oh, my quality of writing is good. Like, that's great. But the client doesn't see the quality of writing unless they actually hire you, right? So what should we do to impress the client and make sure that we stand out? The easiest thing that you can do, especially if you want to stand out in the crowd, is pick a very niche market like Supriya has done for tech. Like, how many content writers can you find in like tech space, that too who write thought leadership articles? The easiest thing that you can do is simply find out a niche market where there is very less competition and very high demand for good quality work. That is one sort of USP that you can add. Second, if you cannot, I mean, it's okay, some markets are crowded, but well, in such cases, simple stuff, have a great portfolio. Simply have a great portfolio, because the client is going to ask you for your portfolio. So you need to have a good portfolio to show that I stand out in the market. But majority of the time, it's like the 80-20 of everything. If you are just good at one single industry and one single type of work, then you will be really good. Like our copywriter Vijay, he is great at writing copy, landing page and emails for info, sort of people in the info space, coaches, consultants, all this particular space. Yeah. So Priya, you have any inputs in this?
Yeah, so I think portfolio really, really matters, even more than a niche. Because if you have a great portfolio, then what you can do is enter different types of niches. And like I said, everybody has money to pay. To give you an example, I recently signed on a client who paid me 7.5 lakh rupees to write 17 emails. Uh, and they were into recruitment. So it's not tech, it's nothing. It's just telling a bunch of candidates, hey, this is a great company to work for. Come join here. This date, your interview is going to happen. This is, our HR process. So the reason they hired me is because my portfolio was so strong that, like you said, they could trust that I'm going to deliver awesome stuff to them, because I've done that for a lot of people. So that always works.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, have a great portfolio, and it sometimes it also you don't also sometimes you don't need to give free work also if you have a good portfolio. So that's there, right? So this is something that we need for crafting an irresistible offer. But if you're starting out, a good entry offer is that you give one work or two work for free, and that is your entry point, and this client keeps on giving you work forever. So clear so
And
far? Yeah, please go on.
again, I do that even now. So, for example, when I started out again, right, when I quit my agency, then I had to start out as a freelance, and I couldn't reach out to any of the tech folks I knew because I had a non-compete agreement. The first client I got was into real estate. I know like zero about real estate. I've never bought a house for myself also. So it's just, it was a very new space. And they said, have you ever written about real estate? I said, no, I haven't written about it, but I can, write a couple of blogs for you for free. You see if that works for you, and then we can convert it. And of course, they gave me a couple of blogs. They loved what I wrote. And then I think, they were giving me 6 to 8 blogs a month to write. So that approach definitely always works.
Oh, it helps. And I mean, as long as so I try to see it this way that what is it that we can give it for free every time I enter a new market? What is it that we can give it for free that comes at a minimal cost to us? And by minimal cost, I don't just always mean money, I also mean time. So let's say, for example, I mean, what you mentioned, some articles for you for free. It does cost us time. Sometimes it costs a lot of time, but as long as we are a little bit familiar with the industry and we can prove our worth and we know for a fact that this client can give us infinite more returns, and it's okay to give that because it is not costing us any money, right?
And then at a point in time, you will reach a place where you will say that, I don't do free samples anymore. So last year, like for example, MasterCard reached out to me and they wanted me to do some content for them. And they had never worked with me, and they said, would you be able to do a free sample? I said, I'm sorry, I don't do free samples. I can do one at a reduced cost for you, which compensates for my time, but you can see the quality of the work. And if you don't like it, then of course we don't carry this forward. But
Yeah.
again, like they liked it, and we continued the partnership. But there comes a point where you can say, sorry, it doesn't work for me anymore to do free samples because I have so many clients that I've got to work for.
I mean, by
Uh,
that time, you would have like so many, such good portfolio built,
yeah.
such so many big logos in your name. Use them.
uh,
So that's
so
that.
yeah, but like entry level offers are always great. I also did one. So again, coaching, right? That's not my niche industry. Like niche wise, I do tech, but I got this inquiry from a US based coach, and she was like, would you be able to do SEO blogs for me? She wanted like a set of 40 blogs. I said, sure. And very generic, nothing, you didn't have to apply your brains at all. But she wanted a sample. I said, okay, fine, I'll do a free sample. And again, she loved it. She gave me a set of those blogs, and I charged some $7,200 for it. So that's, like you said, free is always good, no matter where your market, like where your client is, which geography, which market. Everybody loves that, the trust that you're showing in
There's
them.
a
That
catch though. So there is a catch. So don't give free sample to like bad clients who are like, you just know
yeah,
like, okay, this client doesn't feel like the right fit for me. Don't work for free for those. Like,
yeah.
don't work for free for like a local guy who just want to do some basic SEO done like that. Don't do that. Do it for big companies. Like, if you are working, just work with the rich people. They pay you very well. So,
That's very true.
cool. So next thing, before jumping into sales front, where I would talk about my sales process, it just occurred to me that I did not talk about sales. To baad mein aati hai. How do you get a meeting with the clients at all? So I'll show you my process. I use LinkedIn a lot. If you guys are not on LinkedIn, then you are definitely missing out on a lot. LinkedIn and Twitter are the two best places for writers to find work. Twitter, I'm not very pro at, so I'll not cover that. But LinkedIn is something that I do personally. Now, I can either tell you now, or take around 30 minutes to teach you how to optimize a LinkedIn profile, or just YouTube it. There are a lot of tutorials to optimize LinkedIn profile. But one, you need an optimized LinkedIn profile, because when you are reaching out to people, they need to come to the profile and see, oh, you know what? Okay, this is what this guy is doing, and he is active on LinkedIn, he's posting a lot of content, this kind of becomes like your becomes a portfolio, but it also like shows that you are writing on a daily basis. I write LinkedIn on a daily basis. It helps a lot. But let me show you how exactly to find work on LinkedIn. Simply go to search and hit enter. And here I just do a blank search sometimes. Sometimes I just search hiring content writer sort of thing. Not in the job, but in the post section here. A lot of people who are hiring content writer, they usually add like a post saying, hey, we are hiring content writer or looking for content writer or something like that. But this is just one way, not the best way. But in case you want to like use it, then you can. I don't see any hiring posts. Looking for content writers who are well versed in chat GPT. Okay, this guy is already hiring. This is how the situation vacant call. Okay, sorry, this guy posted a LinkedIn thing. Doesn't seem like anyone is hiring, but
So I do another thing. I also go to the jobs where people are hiring content writers. And
and look
then,
for founders.
yeah.
Yeah, I do that a lot as well. So yeah, guys. So what Supriya said, and sorry to cut you off, Supriya, because it just
No,
came
no,
up.
I was just saying that this is one, and another one is in the job section. You get to see what is it that they're looking for more in detail, and then you can make a better value proposition to them, right? That if you hire a content writer, you'll pay them some 10, 12 lakhs a year, and I can do that for 6 lakhs a year or something like that, right? You show them how your content is better, you're cheaper, they don't have to pay you any employee benefits, no health insurance, no sick
Actually, I don't
leave.
have to train. I think like because
Yeah,
we hire a lot of people, so the biggest pain point for us is like, even if we hire, we have to sit and train these guys, which
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
another 3 months of our time. If there is a well-versed content writer or well-versed employee that comes in, why not? Majority of the time, you'll find the hiring team. If you are in the premium, if you are not, then don't worry. Uh, you can do this. Simply type in hiring content writer, type in the location, but the best thing is you can find the company information here in LinkedIn and go to people. If it is a big company, it's a small company, honestly, it's like 4 employees. So you probably can find CEO and co-founder right here, this guy, and this guy is also a co-founder. We can simply ping them. Any company less than 50 employees, you can directly ping the CEO, right? That works. If not, then the next guy in command, like CMO usually comes to my mind if it is a bigger company, 50 plus employees, right? Or if it is like a 500 plus employee, then I would go with like head of marketing or head of content. This sort of positions start coming up during those times, right? Now you can also use certain tools like apollo.io. I use this a lot to find the email IDs of the founders. Like for example, Apollo, it has a free extension. If you scroll down to their, what is happening? Okay, yeah. If you scroll down to the bottom, the website is still loading. Yeah. How big is this page? Damn. Let me refresh. Anyways, these guys have like a yeah, they have like this Chrome extension that you can download. Let's see, this one, Apollo Chrome extension. And what happens is if you are in a company page, this sort of yellow tag comes out. If you click here, then you'll know all the employees. Himanshu, CEO and co-founder, and if you click on this button, it will create the email. It will find the email IDs for you. And if you click on more option, view contact, then it will search for that particular contact and you get the email ID here. And you can send a mail to this guy along with a LinkedIn message saying that, hey, I see that you guys are hiring, and whatever value proposition. I see that, you're hiring this sort of a position. I can totally help you out. You know what? I actually have a email template that I can share with you guys. Give me a minute. I shared it with one guy. Yeah, I have a lot of email templates, but this one was most used one. Yeah, this one. Replace to assist an open position cold email. So scope out a prospective client's job, open your positions to see if your product or service can replace or assist the position. Remind them of the struggle that they are about to have and give them a social proof of other clients if you have worked with them. And close the request with a specific date and time to chat. So this is the template, and I'll show you an example. So this was for a web designer example, but you can change it to content writer also. But let's say subject line can say content writer not needed, or hiring a content writer, that's not easy. That's how the subject line would read. And the body is like, Shukriya, I noticed on your career page that you're hiring a content writer or newsletter writer. My other clients that hired this position struggled with how to know what they really need on the website. These content writers just knew how to write flowery words, but they never understood the core of the company, what they stand for, and aligning them to the company's values were a little bit difficult. I would love a few minutes to discuss how I can get you, I can help you write content that resonates with your audience and builds you as an authority. We have helped clients, like if you have a particular client, to whatever sort of case study. I've helped clients like John's Plumbing rank their blog post to 100,000 views a month, whatever case study you have, just put down here, and we would love to help you with the same. Can we talk more about it? Thanks, Rahul. Whatever, right? So use this template and close deals. This is all for you. Let me see if it is visible to public. Yeah, cool. You can use this later. So that's one. Second one is, you don't even need to look for jobs. If you know your this thing, like I call it ideal customer persona, I do a simple thing and go to people. Let's say you are somebody who works with I don't know, edtech sort of companies, e-learning companies, right? And let's say e-learning you are not getting any job prospects. So sometimes what we do is we go to people and do this filter thing. Here we can add, let's say, what sort of location you want to work with. Let's say India. And if you want to work with this particular company, it's fine. But I look for this. Let's say I want to work with e-learning providers, which is usually this edtech field, Byju's or Unacademy sort of field, let's say, right? And next, service category can be marketing, writing, your wish, wherever you want to put. But title I usually find the guy I want to reach out to in the e-learning space. Usually it is the chief marketing officer. Or here you can also use LinkedIn Boolean search, where you can put or, capital or. You can search for head of content or marketing manager. Usually marketing managers don't come in the picture. Head of digital marketing comes sometimes, or head of director of marketing, this guy. Something like this. Job positions, CMO, head of content. If you can't read, then read this. These people usually hire this. LinkedIn is restricted and allows us to send 5 connections with notes per month. What are you saying, bro? They say I sent 15 per day, even when I did not have any LinkedIn premium account, but not sure. You can use Twitter also, by the way. It works. Twitter is fantastic, but this sort of filtration and all is not available in Twitter. So yeah, so here you can add these, and there you go, head of digital marketing at Torito, and you can find this guy's email ID right here if you have the Apollo extension. Now you can either send him a email through Apollo extension, or you can ping him inside LinkedIn. This works. So my account was restricted. I was sending 10 to 15 connection requests. Maybe the way you were sending was wrong. I don't know. I never faced this issue till now. But LinkedIn is notorious. I've heard some scary stories about LinkedIn banning accounts. Now, you can always use Apollo, something like this, to scrape the email IDs and send them an email. It still works. You can also use another tool, which is like recruitin.net. I don't know if you can remember all this or take notes. So Recruitin also helps. It's the same thing, but it creates like a Google thing. Let's say I want to work with CMO or chief marketing officer or head of marketing people. In location or keywords, we can put e-learning. You can talk like that, and it comes up with like this search query. If you click on open in Google, all these people are basically that particular profile. It uses some SEO thing to get you all these people. And you can also do a little bit of a sneaky thing if you are a little bit smart. I personally add something like @gmail.com here, and if they have posted their email somewhere publicly, we can totally scrape that out. But it's rare that you can find somebody's Gmail ID directly. See, it's not available anywhere. Sometimes you can directly find, or sometimes you can find their phone numbers. It works. Sometimes it doesn't. But the first trick, where you put the category who you are serving and the job role, it gives you like a lot of search results, right? You can use these and the templates that I shared. You can tweak the templates. If somebody is not hiring, you can simply say, hey, I noticed your profile on LinkedIn, think you can really use help in terms of content. Let me write a couple of articles for free, then we can talk about working together. That can work. Use these templates to get into booked meetings with these people. Okay, I quickly wanted to share this so that I quickly wanted to share this so that later on you should not ask like, "Arey client ke sath meeting kaise kare?" You are a Google prompt engineer as well. Yeah, cool. Now that let's say we send all these messages and clients are ready to talk to us. Now is the time to close these deals. Now, whenever we get into a call, I usually have a two-step closing process that I follow to close all these deals. Now, I do two calls with my clients. The first call is a discovery call, and second call is a proposal call. Now, a discovery call is, I honestly, I'm a bad salesperson. I have a lot of phobia around sales, and yeah, believe it or not, even after 1,500 sales calls, it's still like I'm not a sales guy. And the coach that I learned from, he said, "Oh no, you just sell it in the first go." And I had so much fear in my heart to like close deals. So what I did was like in the sales process, I noticed there was a part where we are just taking clients' requirements, understanding their pain points and everything. And there is a part where we are pitching our product and services. So instead of doing it in one call, I just split it into two calls. I said like, let's understand your requirements now, and then I'll craft a proposal, and then we'll get on another call where I'll promote the proposal or present the proposal, and then we can take a decision whether we can work or not. That worked like a charm because I was not from a sales background. I was shit scared of selling. Because I split this part, I had no pressure on selling. And by the second call, I already had made good rapport with this person. We are like chuddy buddies by the time, and I would not be afraid of closing the deal in the proposal session. So I'll tell you what exactly I do in discovery session, and I'll give you like a template for proposal. Now, discovery session is the badass framework. So obviously badass is an acronym for building rapport, attaining control, demystifying gap, amplifying the gap, selling the dream, and slashing objections. Now, the way it works, obviously, if I start talking about badass, it might take an hour for me to complete this, but I'll give you in a short and sweet manner. Rapport building has one and only job. It takes about 30 seconds in the sales call. The only job of rapport building is to make sure that they don't see you as somebody who is selling. You don't seem like a salesperson to them. Now, our job is to maintain authority or start building some sort of relationship with the client right here. Because remember, in the discovery call, we are not selling anything. Because we are not selling anything, we are pressure free. We don't have to behave well as well. You don't have to say, hey, sir, hello, sir, I have a great, I love you, sir, whatever. No, you don't have to share any of these. You can simply start by saying, hey, Supriya, what's up? How is it going? Supriya says, oh, all good. Awesome. Where are you from? Oh, you're from that place. Great. Works. Fine. Not a problem. But immediately you should build some sort of rapport. And here you should not say words like sir, madam, none of those things. Just simply say, I checked your website, great work, but I really think you can need help. So let's get started. Next thing is attaining control. Here we add like an agenda to this call. The way I attain control, because a lot of clients by default have this habit that the moment you get on a call, the clients will be like, oh, Jayant, tell me your prices. I don't like, there will be clients who would be like, oh, The moment you get on a call, they're like, oh, tell me how you can help me. Like, how the hell am I supposed to know how I can help you? Let's talk, right? But you can't say like that. So what we do is normally, as soon as the call starts, we put an agenda. And the way we say it is like, you know what, Supriya? First things first, I mean, what made you interested in my outreach? You must be getting a lot of cold emails, right? And Supriya will be like, oh, you said you'll be writing one article for me for free. So that got me interested. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm more than happy. So let me get your requirements. Let's keep this call really short and sweet so that neither your time or nor my time is wasted. And the way we'll cover this call is like, I will first take your requirements and where exactly you need my help in terms of content. And then what would be your desired case? Like, what would you do with that content and how it can help you? And then we'll figure out how I can fit in. And then I'll, probably we can end the meeting where I can share where I'll have time to create a proposal, and in the next meeting I can share with you what exactly I have to offer with all the deliverables. Will it work for you? So we are putting that clear agenda that this is the path that we are going to follow in that particular call. So the client has to listen to us. Otherwise, the call just goes haywire and they ask 100 different questions, which we don't want. Now, once this is done, now the script, you remember, we'll keep it short and sweet so that we don't waste each other's time. We'll take your requirements, figure out what you do in the content, figure out my place in helping you, and then I'll get started with working and create a proposal that can help you. That's the agenda part, attaining control part. Once that is done, we go into demystifying. Here are 5 core problems that I dig deep into while taking the requirements. Now, the first question I ask, it's usually like this. So, Sophia, I think the best place to start, probably the best place to start is like, tell me, where exactly do you need this particular service? And why exactly you need this? So why is absolutely critical. So this is a framework that I use. Where is the pain? How is it affecting you? Business. Second, how is it affecting your goal or goals, like personal life? Personal, sometimes I go there, sometimes I don't. Where is the pain? How long have you been facing this? And here I also have one more thing. Have you reached out to someone? Right? So I usually have this 5 question in various different orders. First thing is like, where is the pain? Which is like, cool. So, why exactly do you need content though? If somebody asks me, Jayant, I need cold email copywriting for me. Why do you need cold emails? Why not go with something else? Now, the reason why, it sounds counterintuitive that we are here to sell content, but when you ask them, you uncover why exactly they need it, and that desire becomes a hook while you are pitching, right? Like an example, today I got a client, we just closed the deal where he needed cold email system for him, right? I was like, dude, you are making some $20,000 a month. Why would you need cold emails? Like, yeah, Jayant, I can't tell you. I'm just getting all these clients from all these conferences, meeting offline. Arey yaar, mera pair durd ho gaya going into all this conference. I just need an online system where I'll sit out of my office and clients keep booking calls with me. Cool. So why not just run ads? Oh, I tried running ads. It was so difficult to do. I think cold email is better. So he immediately said cold email is better. So he sold on the idea itself. So that's my whole point, that why exactly he needs cold email? Because nothing else works for him. The reason why I asked this question, later on the sales call, he should not say, Arey yaar, I can also run ads and get clients. You should capture that point right here. So when you point out the shortcomings in the client's content, how do you place it without making his organization team inefficient? I make them inefficient. Like, bro, who did you hire for this content position? Like, no, I just tell them, like, I check these articles, though informative, I really think it can have a little bit more info, little bit more quality. For example, when you wrote this, you could have written this, just like showing our work as well. Mind if I, audit this entire articles and rewrite it for you? Will this work? So that's how we do it. Anywho, second is, how long have you been facing the pain? Like, for example, how long have you been looking for content writers? How long have you been needing SEO? Blah, blah, blah. They're like, oh, it's been 6 months. 6 months? what if you could find a content writer 6 months back? How would that help you? Oh, you know what? I have a lot of client requirement coming in that I can't fulfill. If a content writer is there, I could charge 50% more, right? Here we go deeper into that particular pain. Here is the pain. I don't have content writers because let's say you are targeting marketing agencies who need content writers, and I am oversubscribed with content, and because of lack of content writers, let's say I can't take on more projects, and if I have somebody on board, then I can probably charge a lot more. Have you reached out to somebody else? No, I ask this question, or have you been working with somebody else? Or sometimes I ask like, have you interviewed any candidates? Because it would be easy to find content writers, right? Like I normally ask it like this, and then they give out why somebody else is not qualified to work with them. This question I ask just because they should not tell me कि हाँ ये तो half a पैसे में भी people are doing, half a rupee में भी people are doing this content writing per word, right? So I ask them, did you not work with any other content writer? Because they can possibly work with you, right? Like, yeah, but even though they are cheap, what is happening is the quality of the content that they are producing is not good. Now, the moment they say this out loud, what happens is you can immediately put it in your proposal. Like, hey, he's fed up with working with low quality, cheap content writers. And they will never ever say that, okay, I could do it for cheaper. And how is lack of efficient content affecting your business? Like, what part of your business would you like to improve with my content? And say, oh, you know what, my SEO could really need help. My Google ads are becoming more expensive, whatever. And how is it affecting your personal life? Normally, unless I solve like a very deep problem, which is like deeper problem comes from like sales. Somebody's sales is screwed up, and if I don't fix the sales team, their business will die. Unless that happens, I don't talk about personal life a lot. But yeah, this diagnosis, if you remember, if you have observed, this is the exact method doctors use to dig into our pain. Like, where is it paining? How long is it paining? Did you go to any other doctor? What is their prescription says? Or let's say, what problems are you having? Like, what can't you do in your life because of this pain? Something like that, and then go deeper. Now, once demystifying the gap is done, then we amplify the gap by simply stating, so, Supriya, I like to play devil's advocate whenever I run a business. Let me ask you this thing. What if we don't solve this? Because the skeptic in me is, asking me this question, like, what if we don't solve this content problem? How is it going to impact? What are the future impacts of not having good SEO, let's say? Like, oh, my Google ads costs are rising. It has been 5x in the last 5 years. I don't know whether I can sustain. I need a free traffic source. So what this does, it enables your clients to visualize what will happen if they don't have this particular solution. So basically what happens is the cost of inaction is bigger than the cost of action, right? If they just hire you and get things started, the cost of that will be so much more smaller than not doing anything. So that's the whole point. Once they are there, we go ahead and sell the dream. And by selling the dream, what we do, we basically sell this core offer in a non-pushy way, right? Because in proposal, we'll go into deeper levels. But what we do here is we just go ahead and sell them. Like, let's say these are 5 core components of my offer. I'll be like, you know what, Supriya, you remember when you said that you worked with all these cheap content writers and they did not even research anything, they just chat GPT'd things, and whatever content they produced was not up to the mark. Well, what I do is I personally humanize the content. Here's my research strategy where I go into at least 10 different websites, run my own experiments if it is a tech kind of review kind of things, and I pull out data from that experiment to put in my articles. That not only makes the articles more valuable, but also they rank easier because it's a unique content that Google values. Do you think you need this kind of help? Imagine it's the same thing. Instead of saying, oh, I'll write 5 articles for you, versus, remember how you said you faced this problem because of which you faced this impact. What I do is this feature, and this feature will help you with this benefit. Will this work? Great. Second thing, remember how you said that you don't have time for keyword research and all? Don't worry, I have like a library of keywords that will absolutely work for you. And I try to incorporate keywords in a more forceful way, which make it feel like it flows with the content and makes it sound natural. Just like I did with this client. You can open up a portfolio or some article that you have written and you can show, this is how it will look like, a demo. Or let's say, remember how you said you have to hire another graphic designer for which you have to pay separately, and this guy doesn't even know what sort of naming to use, what alt tags to put, whatever. I do that all by myself so that you don't have to ever hire a graphic designer. And I'll proofread and finish the articles and give it back to you. Do you think this sort of a thing will help you out? The way we have to present our offers is every pitch should have four things. First thing, let's say selling the dream mein. So let's say offer component, we are selling this offer component, let's say well researched. Every offer component should have a problem. This problem should have an impact. Then your feature should have a benefit, and each benefit should have a significance. Remember how you said you hired these guys and it caused this problem because of which you face this impact? Well, what I do is well researched articles which will help you get this benefit so that it will rank higher and Google will reward you for your efforts. You see how this is structured? And if you just do this, clients will never say no to your offer, because every single thing that you present will become like, oh yeah, what you said is true. That is why demystifying the gap is so important, because all the data of problem and impact will come from this, right? And then once this is done, you can simply say, you know what, this looks great. They will say, okay, how much do you charge? That's one objection. Money objection is about to come. More than objection, it's more like an obstacle. What we do is we tell them, given your requirements, Supriya, the kind of work that I do is so varied that I cannot put like one price tag to it. Do you mind if we can come on the proposal call? And by that time, I'll be so fully prepared. I would have done research on your industry and figured out how much effort would be required and quote you the right price, not a penny more, not a penny less. Will that work for you? Yes. In the meantime, give me the topic. I'll finish writing, and along with the proposal, I'll share the article as well. Done. So anytime an objection like that comes, more like obstacle that comes, you answer it that way. Now, once that is done, we ask them to come on the proposal call, which should be ideally within 24 to 48 hours. Do not make it more delayed, because then you'll lose the client, right? Now, when it comes to proposals, I will see if I can have, I actually had created a proposal thing. Proposal creation class. Yeah, here's the document I created in that class. I'll just share this with you. So this is my proposal template, which I use. Not template, it's like an actual proposal where I remove the company's name and I like added this. And I don't send PPTs and whatever. I don't know. Somehow I'm not a PPT guy. I don't know how to design. If you ask me to design a website, I'll like create a website that has white background, black text, and website. So I am the worst kind of designer there is. So I just send Google Docs, and people love this. Clients actually appreciate this because it becomes so black and white. So I just tell them pixel track or like whatever my company, tick company's name, give them a small summary about that particular company and what we do. But here's where I mention the roadblocks. This roadblocks are some things that we have uncovered in the discovery session, the problem statements. And our mission is to obviously solve this roadblock and actually give them a solution. Instead of giving them, hey, here's what we'll do for you, I don't do that. I just give them an idea. You know what? Let's say they said that, okay, this particular client said that we did Google ads, that didn't work. Well, if you could add LinkedIn ads with cold email and social outreach, it will give you a lot more response. And we should aim to keep this pipeline full without our dependency. And how do we do that? We do that by doing outreach. This is what we'll do. This is the kind of results we'll get, and we'll do content marketing so that you'll get better results. Here's an example of how my content is getting good traction. I put a screenshot of their company showing that their company is not getting traction on LinkedIn. So I show I actually give like hints of solution, not like an exact solution that this is what you should do. It's basically a demo of our process. So they were running LinkedIn ads, but they don't want to depend on LinkedIn ads. I said, along with LinkedIn ads, you do LinkedIn content and outreach so that you get more leads that way. And what I essentially did, like I showed them my own LinkedIn traction. Like you see my LinkedIn tab, I'm getting like 3,000, 4,000 impressions and so many likes and shares and so many comments. All these are like potential leads. This is something that you can also expect. And basically, along with outreach, you should do this. I just gave them an idea, and this is how it looks, not the what you should do part. And then I write scope of work, what I should be doing, data scraping, validation, outreach, process, personal branding. In summary, here's what we'll be doing: number of emails, number of nurture mailing, drip campaigns, personal branding for both founders, some guarantee in terms of bounce rate, more positive reply rates, and if you want to add some bonus, you can add. I also add like a timeline on how long it will take me to finish their work. In this particular case, let's say I take like 2 weeks to like draft the things and the rest weeks are implementation. How will we do it? What level of support I'll give them? I'll give them a one-on-one onboarding call, once in 2 weeks catch-up call, weekly progress report, delivery of project based on above scope of work, and then what is our monthly fee? What would be the cost of this 90-day contract? Additional expenses, who will take this, what sort of support they'll get, what is the guarantee, what is the incentive. I also add the incentive. Let's say I tell them I launch this cold email campaigns, you are expecting 2% response rate. If we get 10, then I need something in return. So I say instead of giving me money or something, you just extend the timeline of our work. In terms of payment, this is honestly ChatGPT created. I don't know anything about it. The client said add some terms of payment. I said like I just uploaded this proposal on ChatGPT saying that this is the proposal, write me terms of payment, and it created this. So I just copy pasted here and that worked. And I just present this proposal on the call saying that this is the kind of work that we do. And the whole point of the proposal and why I think Google Docs work for me and what I've realized is like clients don't appreciate creativity as much as they appreciate clarity. What I've personally seen is like if the client is clear that what problem are we solving for them and what is the path that we'll be taking and what exact deliverables will be giving to them and what will be the KPIs of those, which is key performance indicators, and what timeline will deliver the value and what sort of support will give them and what will be the guarantee and incentive of this clarity helps them take the buying decision so much more faster than just, hey, I'll write content for you and I charge 50 paisa per word. This is the difference between people who charge like 15, 20, 30 rupees per word versus people who charge 1 rupee per word. Process, right? So yeah, sorry, I'm so tired. This is the badass framework. And last one, building lasting relationship. A lot of people mess up here. Even if you do everything right, if you just mess up with the delivery, it doesn't work. So how do we build lasting relationship? These are 4 steps: onboarding, activation, support, and accountability. These are 4 things that you need to provide to the client. Onboarding, the process of onboarding has to be phenomenal. In fact, onboarding is once they have bought from you, what happens next? How do you welcome them to your work, right? In fact, there was a study done. I don't know where exactly it is. I just read it on Google somewhere. People decide whether they want to continue working with you or not on the day of the onboarding call. This is how early. That's why first impressions are lasting. Onboarding has to be phenomenal. And what you need to do in the onboarding is like, again, it's more clarity over creativity, right? The whole reason why I'm so selective with the kind of clients that I work in agency is like, if I'm not clear, I don't take clients. So clarity means I clearly tell them, I need password of your LinkedIn. I need this. I will take 4 months to create your, 4 weeks to create your ICP, 2 weeks to create the messaging. And after the 6th week, we'll start creating this. But while creating the ICP, I want you to sit with me for 2 sessions so that I can have this. So very, very clearly, I'll outline the entire process so that the client goes out of the onboarding call thinking, oh, wow, such a good clarity I have had with Jayant. And one more thing I do, I don't leave clients hanging. Once the onboarding is done, I immediately book the next call. So if today onboarding is done, the next call is supposed to happen on 29th of October. I'll actually book the meeting on 29th of October so that the client knows when to expect something. So I read it on a book called $100 Million Leads. There was this formula called BAM FAM. Book a meeting from a meeting. So BAM FAM. Book a meeting from a meeting. So every meeting, you should book the next meeting duration, and it helps. Activation is how are you implementing this task. Sometimes it gets delayed, sometimes it's not, but whenever you are activation is like all those steps, like well research articles or like finishing the work, proofreading. Ideally, when we keep working with clients, we give them notice of every small step that we take. Let's say for the other day, I was interviewing some people for Supriya. I would just like, you know what, it's taking some time. I interviewed these people are good, these people are not. Add them to a WhatsApp group. Next activation point is I'll get on a call with them, train them on some work. Then I'll be like, oh, this training is done. You can start assigning some leads here. So these small updates clients need on a regular basis. So if you are working as an SEO guy, you finish your first draft, send your client a mail that, hey, your first draft is done. Give me like 2 more days. The next thing will be delivered to you. And do this before time. It's not like your deadline should cross. Before time, we should do this, obviously. But the clients would really appreciate you following up with them. Support, email support ho gaya, Slack community support ho gaya, but what sort of support you will give to the clients? So let's say clients immediately have a requirement. How would you connect with them? The faster you respond to their query, the more reputation you'll build. The faster you respond, the more the client will stick with you, right? Ideally, I'd like to keep the support within in like less than 12 hours. And accountability. In some niches, this happens that you need to get client approval. It especially happens in cold email niche. Like I would have given the cold email to the client and they would be like the copy to the client and they would take like forever to approve that and our project will get delayed. So sometimes you have to become the mommy of the client. Like, hey, kidhar hai? No, where is the thing? I mean, don't shout at your clients. That's not good. But at least call them and tell them, you know what, if you don't approve it, our project will not go forward. So I would want you to approve it. It will take like 5 minutes to do it. Just say yes or no, and I'll get started. So sometimes you have to provide that accountability. To provide the accountability, I ask the clients to come on a call with me every 2 weeks, once in every 2 weeks. What this does, that even if they don't respond to me throughout the week, they're busy, they come on the call on that particular week, and then I'll be like, oh, you know what, here's the cold email. Approve it now. We have half an hour of time. You can read it quickly. Come on. So sometimes I do that so that they are also like a little bit pushed to do the work, and they also feel happy that there is somebody who is more interested in helping me out than I am for my own work. So yeah. So this is the entire thing. Picking the right market. These are the 4 types of market you look for. What clients don't want is content. What clients want is a solution to that problem. Irresistible offer. There is an entry level, which is free work. Core offers, whatever the core things that you need to do to get the work. Bonus, what more you can give them. Guarantees, what if this doesn't work, then what is the collateral. USP, best thing is niche. Second thing is portfolio. Sales calls, we have 2 calls, discovery and proposal. I told you how they go and how do you build lasting relationship, onboarding, activation, support, and accountability. So this is my framework. I mean, honestly, if you can just do more research on what I just did, you can literally build an agency from scratch, because this is exactly what we do for our clients. So yeah, that's about it. Any questions? I have some Q&As. I have been into writing since late 2019, from 10 paisa per word to I raised prices to 2 INR per word. I got this high paying 2 INR per word clients from LinkedIn. Now, how can I increase my rates as I know I'm providing more value? Should I keep using LinkedIn to get clients or try other ways? Expand, obviously. I'll answer the first question, which is like, how can I increase my rate? Solve bigger problems. It's not like, honestly, like I told you, client doesn't want content. So what you're saying, like I'm providing really valuable content. No, client want, what problem am I solving? Is the problem that you're solving big enough? Right? If not, then is the problem, is the guy who you are solving the problem for is good enough? If not, find a new client who can appreciate your efforts. Second, if the problem is big enough, then you can obviously raise your prices by saying, hey, what, this is not feasible for me. So ideally, I always go for a problem solution approach. If I solve bigger problem, I can command bigger money. That's as simple as that. So yeah.
And sometimes you've got to help them identify the problem also, because they don't know. They think that everybody is doing this, so let me also go ahead and do that, and it's completely irrelevant to them. For an example, recently somebody came to me, she's an HR leader, she wanted to write a book. and she wanted to write a book on relationships. I was like, why are you writing a book on relationships? Like, you're a chief people officer. Uh, what is this book going to do for you, right? So she was like, um, yeah, I'm thinking, whatever. So we had like an hour-long discussion, and I said, why don't you write a book about, HR folks and how they need to do certain things? You can make it into a coaching business. You can become an executive coach for HR, and that'll give you a lot more money than being a relationship coach for B2C. And then she's like, yeah. And I gave her the entire outline for her book. And when I quoted my price, initially she was very skeptical because I charged like around 4.5 lakhs for a book. Um, but after I did all this, and I said, no strings attached, I'm just telling you what is going to be good for you. Um, 2 days later, she signed up, right? So you've got to tell them how stuff is going to work out for them in the long run and what is it that they actually need uh, for them to actually open their wallets and give that money to
Yeah.
you.
Many times clients don't have clarity. So you have to give them clarity sometimes on the call. What exactly they need and how exactly are we going to deliver it. That's the whole point we ask, like why exactly you need cold emails? Why do you want to write a book? Right. So and they
Yeah.
give you some random answer, then it's your job to sometimes coach the clients. And I tell you this, no matter
Yeah.
how big the client is, they're not always like very smart, right? At least not when it comes to content and the kind of work that you are doing. That's why they're hiring you, because you're smarter than them. That's that. Second, should I keep using LinkedIn to get clients or try any other way? So there are 4 traffic sources that you can tap into to find more clients. One is ads, second is referrals, third is outreach, fourth is content. Obviously, you don't want to run ads, it's fine. But referrals and outreach are something that are like absolutely critical for freelancers. Referral means when I get a client and they are happy with my work, I ask them, do you know anyone else who might need this content? And I incentivize that. I would love to offer you a discount if you can create like a handshake deal with 5 of your current network. So if they give you that lead, say, oh, okay, call this guy, call this guy, call this guy. I've already talked about you. Then they get like a small discount. So referrals work fantastically, and you can close a lot more deals through referrals than any other traffic source. Outreach, there are 2 types: social outreach, cold email outreach. Social outreach, mein, you have been doing LinkedIn. You can do Twitter. Twitter is so fantastic for content writers. You can find influencers who are in the content or SEO space. All their followers will be in the content or SEO space, or business owners. You can start pitching them there, and you can even build a personal brand on LinkedIn and Twitter to help you out. So that's there. And I don't know if any other platform, social media platform, or user can help. And last one is called emails. You can tap into that. That can help. And final outreach pillar is content. So build a personal brand. Like that is, you cannot just sustain on every other traffic source, because personal brand goes a very long way. If they see you are a content writer with like 20,000 followers on LinkedIn, they will treat you with respect. That's there, right? Who
I
taught you?
have a
Sorry.
question. Sorry. I have a question which is sort of related to that, okay? Because now that I've been doing this coaching thing for a while,
Yeah.
um, I've realized that a lot of content writers are really scrambling to find clients, right? They're everywhere. They're on these freelancer and Upwork and all those websites. They're on LinkedIn. They're everywhere. And they're trying to find clients, and they're not very successful. And it always like this is
That's
a question
strange,
in my
because I
mind.
see a lot of people who say, "Oh, I'm not able to find good content writers."
Yeah, so there is definitely a gap. So there is, and because my clients keep asking me, do you have more people? Do you have more people? Because we have so much work that we need to give you, but you don't have bandwidth. But what is the right number of clients, or how much outreach is enough for a person um, to establish that presence, right? Because honestly, I work with like a maximum of 7 clients at a time, and my clients have been working with me for 7, 8 years now. So I don't get this. How often are you supposed to reach out? That's my question. And to
You
how
don't.
many
You
people?
also don't at all. You don't need to. No,
Yeah.
I mean, when you are not in a client surplus, you should always reach out. By client surplus, I think everybody should have a number in mind, how many clients I can serve. That clarity helps. I personally, even though I know that I can serve probably, I don't know, I can serve, let's say, 20 clients. I would not take more than like 10 clients purposefully, because then I can't deliver. So that number is like really important. And let's say you know for a fact that you can work with only 3 clients, then do outreach until you hit 3 clients. But I would also, nowadays I'm learning that you should not ever stop outreach, because earlier you used to do outreach to get clients, but now you can do outreach to just build relationships. Like you can just send a cold email saying, hey, I'll check this articles. You could improve a lot of these, and this is what I've observed, so I hope this helps you out. People appreciate that a lot, and you have a conversation going on. So suddenly that cold email, a cold lead become a warm lead, and tomorrow when you are ready to work with somebody, you have a list of people who are appreciating your work. So a lot of the time this is what we do. You can do outreach to either get clients. If you are not working, then you can just do outreach to build some sort of relationship with this client, so that tomorrow when you need them, they're there. So that's it. Right.
Super. Thank you.
Awesome. Who taught you sales, Jayant sir? The guy's name is Cole Gordon. Because so that the spelling is not missed out. I'll just type the answer here. You can find him on YouTube. Pretty good sales guy. Can I boost my balance sheets by establishing offices in Europe? No, you don't need to. Why would you need office in Europe? You can get European clients while sitting in India, especially when you are in the content writing space. So you don't need to, right? Anju saying, hi, I'm a professor in marketing and train on digital marketing in different universities. I know the digital marketing subject well and want to leverage my knowledge by content writing in this space. Please help me with the type of clients I should reach out to so that I can write for them. Can you please help me with some examples? Dude, I know what, like, I have a chat GPT prompt to help you out. Should I give you a demo? What do you guys think? I don't know, if you guys want, I can do this. Today itself, I created like a prompt for niche selection. So this is a classic niche selection problem. Wait. Yeah, I'll just share my screen. No, not this one. Okay. So I use this. Let's go to chat GPT. You can use Bard also. Bard is also pretty good. You can put this. So I say, act as a career coach and I'm a student. I'm a freelancer and I'm good at content writing. And we can add additional detail, like Anju says, and digital marketing, and have knowledge in digital marketing. I never worked with many industries till now. It's important, don't change it. And I want to start my career by providing this service. Give me 5 industries that will absolutely need content writing skill, and it will give you like 5 industries that you can use. And now it will be like pick one, whatever, right? Because niche selection honestly is like a game of like picking, not like finding. And you use one of this, let's say finance and fintech, whichever you feel more relatable to. Just pick one. Let's say I say finance and fintech. I want to work with, replace this industry line by, let's say, finance and fintech. Can you specify a few subset in finance and fintech companies that would need content writing and would pay me well? So inside finance and fintech, what kind of companies can help you? There are robo advisors, there are cryptocurrency and blockchain, okay. There is personal finance apps, right? Online brokerages. What else do we have? Financial blog and news outlets. Okay, they might, financial advisory firms, they might also need this. Let's say I'm more interested in cryptocurrency. I'll pick this. Okay, I'll take this prompt and say, great, I want to help cryptocurrency and blockchain companies with getting more whatever benefit. Okay, I can also add like what benefit will get with content writing. I think I can add this. I did not add it when I was testing this prompt, so I'll add this in this layer as well. All right, cool. So they will get help with education and awareness, building credibility, marketing and promotion, SEO. Okay, SEO is definitely there. So I'll use the next prompt, which is like, what benefit this? Yeah. Actually, this is prompt 3. This is prompt 4. And I'll copy this, use it here. Great. I want to help these companies with whatever benefit, with search engine traffic and building credibility. What do you think about this? How much money can I charge monthly using this service for this segment? Then it will give like an estimate. Obviously, I'm not going to read this, but let's say you can charge this much or more. Great. Then next I do this where I say, now you act like a market researcher and help me go deeper into the target audience niche. The target audience is this guy, cryptocurrency and blockchain companies, and my service is content writing. And it will like answer these questions. And the best part about this is like it will give you more ideas about what your client would need content help with. So there is a summary of the current state and desired state. And then I have this massive pen, purchasing power, easy to target and everything. Now I ask, can you create like an ideal customer persona for me based on all the things? So communication preferences, challenges, summary. So there you go. This gives you a lot of clarity on how exactly you help, who do you help, and pretty much, yeah. Could you kindly help us with the prompts? Yeah, absolutely. Why not? I'll just share with you my chat itself. So this is webinar only link. I'll not share this anywhere else. So anyone who is watching the recording, sorry. So there's that. Cool. So there's that. I hope that helped. Apart from portfolio, samples, social media, do cold emails have any role? 100%. So if so, what should the tone and the weight of putting it forward? What is the methodology of highlighting the value proposition? I think I just shared a lot of examples. You can watch the recording of this call. I showed the exact template. Plus, if they're not hiring, what sort of cold emails you should ask. Pretty much, just watch the recording. You'll find your answer. Okay. Hello, Puli here. If I'm a beginner, which is the one channel I should focus on to ensure I get genuine clients? I think LinkedIn and all work, but I would suggest like really understand the kind of clients that you want to work with. Ideally, start with one sort of client. Like for example, if I were to start today as a beginner content writer, if let's say I'm banned from ever doing sales or cold emailing, ठीक है government ने ban कर दिया मेरे को. So if the content writing is the only thing that I can do, then I would honestly pick like what sort of what is a thing that I'm like really not skilled at, like most interested in right now. And the thing that I'm really interested right now is like my fitness and my dog, my puppy. I'm learning a lot about raising a puppy. So if at all I want to start like as a content writer, I would either cold email a fitness blogger or a dog blogger saying that, hey, I can assist you with some content writing. In exchange, I don't want anything. I just want a testimonial that I can use for my future clients, or I just want some referrals from you, something like that, and then get my clients. So cold emails for one. Second would be like I can probably find such companies in LinkedIn who are into health, who need content, and pitch them that, hey, I can help you with some articles for free. If you want, I can work for you. And then we can discuss whether we can work together for long term or not. So yeah, so that we can do. Ideally start with something that you're really interested in. If you're an absolute beginner, that's a good place to start. And trust me, you cannot saturate the dog market. It's big enough that you'll keep getting clients. So many blogs. No.
Yeah, and pet industry is booming. This is what I tell those folks who join the 8-week intensive also, that there's so much investment happening in pet companies, right? People who do these dog walks and whatnot. So it's a great place to pitch to those companies also and say, hey, we'll write blogs for you or we'll write do your social media for you. So those
Okay.
are awesome
Awesome.
places.
So yeah, say hi guys to my wife and our kid
Hi.
sleeping on her
Oh.
his mother's lap. So yeah,
We
for
have to
guys
do a
who
dog
don't know,
play date.
yep. Somebody said they want to see the puppy, so that's that.
Yeah.
His name is Bro. If you guys don't know, he's a beagle. Bro the beagle. That's what it.
I see an Instagram channel coming.
I know there is a strategy behind that. So I want to grow this page, and then I'll say even my dog has a personal brand. Oh, he was sleeping. He was sleeping, you guys. Say hi,
Hi.
bro.
Oh,
Cool. Okay, guys.
thank
Uh,
you so much.
I think we are done with the questions. Supriya, by the
Yes.
way, I had the amazing chance recently to go through Supriya's content, and my God, like I used to think she is good, never really understood how good she is, especially when it comes to content, until I saw the the content that she produced in her course. Because now that we are working together, this is like really awesome. So for people who have not joined, absolutely like close your eyes, jump into her content collective. This is, I think, one of the best programs that is built on the India. Right. Thank you
Thank you
very
so
much,
much.
Surya, for producing that. And yeah, thanks everyone else.
Thanks, Sharon. Thanks for your time. Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Bye bye.
Bye.